My name is Mukul Sinha. I've been a corporate professional for the last 35 years and have worked in various industries and companies. Last 14 years or so, I've headed a couple of companies. And it was maybe 3 years ago that I decided to hang my corporate boots and decided to do something much more meaningful for the next 20 years. At this time, amongst various options, one of the options that came up was becoming an executive coach, thanks to a conversation with an old friend. And this is how I, after doing some research, landed up with doing a certification with CFI. And in hindsight, now I can say for sure that this was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I graduated from PGPEC 29th batch in January of 2022. So in my first year as a coach, I will be completing 5 executive coaching assignments and 2 lead coaching assignments. In addition to this, I am also starting 2 new executive coaching assignments next month in December. And I have one possible assignment which is in the pipeline. So I consider myself extremely fortunate to have these coaching opportunities. I would also like to share my beliefs and my actions which helped me to experience this rewarding year in coaching. So maybe I would like to do that by posing and answering 3 questions. The first question that comes to my mind, which I want to talk about, is why did I decide to become an executive coach? So coaching was very much in line with my purpose, which I had defined in my life around 3 years ago. So my purpose goes something like this: to help build a world where vast majority of people are creating value for themselves, their families, organizations, and society at large, and leading fulfilled lives. So this was a huge impetus for me based on this purpose to undergo coaching, and also with CFI based on the various inputs that I had collected from talking to existing coaches who had already done certifications from different places, as well as some of the ethos and values of CFI that I found were very useful and in line with my purpose. The second way I would like to share on why I became a coach is the main motivation for me was always helping and supporting others selflessly. And making money was always a byproduct. It was not something for a reason for which I wanted to get into coaching. And another way I felt coaching fitted with my view of life and my values and principles is that I believe in seeking my own inner development in a very focused manner. And coaching, I found, was a great way to nurture and develop myself on a continuous basis. So these were the probably 3-4 main reasons why I decided to become an executive coach. In terms of second question and getting into a little bit of details, how can I actually become an effective coach? So post certification, this was something that I asked myself, that now, okay, certification is over. What do I do next? And how do I really live true to my expectations and my values? So again, 3 points that I would like to share in order to answer this question to becoming an effective coach. The first is I've always focused on building relationships with coaches based on mutual trust and respect. This is something I started with my internship when I had the 2 coaches. And I realized very early on, maybe one of the difficult coaches that I had, that without this mutual trust and respect, I just cannot become a coach. I can get over a coaching assignment. I can finish, maybe achieve some of the expectations from the sponsors, but I would not be able to truly make a mark and make a dent in coaches' life in the coming years. So this relationship should also not only be there or trust and respect, but it should become stronger and deeper as coaching engagement progresses. So I've taken this advice of focusing on the person and not the problem to heart and applied this learning in every interaction with my coaches. So no matter a session is for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, or even 2 hours, and no matter what we are discussing, which stage of the coaching process we are in, I always keep trust and respect as something which I have to continually develop and grow between us. Another way which I felt may have contributed to becoming little more effective is I always kept sustainable behavioral change in the coaches at the forefront of all my sessions. So consequently, I work with coaches to identify the unhelpful ways of thinking and help them to see the limiting effects of the same. This then becomes the basis for deciding on the reframed beliefs, leading to their inner transformation and making the change in their behavior more sustainable. So there is a coaching model which I think was prevalent some time ago, but CFI has always believed, and I'm very happy to kind of go through that and reaffirm the same in my own life, that unless somebody is able to change from inner level, really transform oneself, nothing is sustainable. So I think this is very important, because this is what keeps the coachee happy, and this is what keeps the sponsor happy. Because otherwise, seeing a change for 1 or 2 months and then slipping it or going back just the way you stretch a rubber band and you leave it and it kind of comes back to the original shape, then there's no fun in that. Proof of the pudding is in sustainability. And the last point in terms of becoming more effective coach, which I felt was that throughout the coaching engagement, I, along with the coachee, never lose sight of the expectations of the sponsor. So this is something which is important, because there was a tendency I saw in myself in my first internship coachee, that I started with the sponsor expectations, but somewhere in the journey of, via strength survey, 360 feedback, coachee's own story, my own interpretation, connecting the dots, and we somehow lost track of the expectations at that time. So I feel this is very important. So now I never do that. I kind of always keep the expectations, because at the end of the day, the change in the coachee, the change in the behavior, the change in the mindset which led to the change in behavior is only worthwhile if the expectations of the sponsor are met to a large extent, or at least we have started moving in that direction. The last question which I would like to talk about is how to leverage the available resources that we have and therefore build a successful coaching business, or be able to create value for everybody that we interact with as coaches. So the first point that I want to share here is that I always give 100% in all sessions with all coaches. I plan for key results from each session, not only in terms of the key milestones that we are going to achieve at the end of the session, but also the shift in coaches' mindsets that I'm looking at from this session. I also reach out to the sponsor on regular basis, maybe not just the first 3-way, second mid 3-way, and the closing 3-way, but somewhere in between these, at least once, some cases even twice I've done that, to reach out to sponsors and incorporate their feedback and inputs in the coaching sessions which are to follow. And of course, in these, I can also brief them what is going well and where I need their support, so they in turn can support the coachee as their accountability partners or even otherwise. The second leverage which I used was that as per my own assessment of the coachee and the challenge that the coaching engagement provided, I never hesitated to dovetail coaching and mentoring without ever being prescriptive or judgmental. I believe that, of course, it was predominantly coaching, but there were maybe questions that the coaches had, or there were situations where some mentoring inputs helped them to move further along the coaching engagement in a much better way. And finally, this is something that I was very apprehensive in the beginning, but I really attribute a lot to this as well. Even though registering with CFI on the CRMS portal seemed a very tedious and time-consuming exercise when I started doing it, it gave me an opportunity to work with clients without making additional efforts. It also gave me exposure to work with clients from different industries. So also when you write that profile, your own profile on the CRMS, I think it makes you think in different ways. And this is where you also hone your own thought process. You also undergo your own human revolution or inner transformation, and you tend to focus on the right things. So keeping everything that I've shared with you, I think the above approach, this has really helped me to get repeat business from my clients who provided coaches for my internship as well as also from CFI. Yeah, I hope this has been useful. Thank you for this opportunity.